hour of temptation is very clearly defined in the Greek text. And Dr. Earl Rodmacher, professor and chancellor of Western Theological Seminary, explains why. Listen to these words. Because you have kept my command to persevere, I also will keep you out of the hour of the trial, the coming one. The text has three specific definite articles. So it's not talking about just keeping them out of trial or out of tribulation. It's talking about keeping them out of a period of trial. I will keep you out of the hour of the tribulation, the coming one. The writer couldn't have said it more specifically than he said it in those verses.
Now here's another rapture scripture for us. Revelation chapter 3. Jesus promises the church, the faithful church, the church in Philadelphia, the church that gets the A+. He says, I am going to keep you from the hour of trial, the tribulation, that is going to come on the whole earth to test all of the inhabitants of the earth. So there's a direct promise of Jesus that he's going to protect us, keep us from the tribulation. Now, some people say, yeah, but that word from should be translated through. He's going to keep them safe through the tribulation, just like Noah was kept safe through the tribulation of the flood. Well, there's a problem with that. The believers in the Great Tribulation are killed in chapter 6. They're killed in chapter 7. They're killed in chapter 11. They're killed in chapter 12. They're killed in chapter 13. They're killed in chapter 17. They're killed in chapter 20. So there's, I don't know if that's, as Fruchtenbaum says, if that's protection, he's doing a lousy job. The fact of the matter is, at one point in chapter 12, it says the Antichrist is given permission to kill believers in Jesus. Well, that clearly contradicts this line that I'm going to keep you from the Great Tribulation. So obviously, the people that are in that tribulation are different than the church. So
no passage on the tribulation in the Bible mentions the church. Major theological problem, number one, for people who try to teach mid-tribulation and post-tribulation. Main problem number one, theologically. There is no mention of the church in any passage on the tribulation. So major problem number one with mid-tribulation view and post-tribulation view, not a single mention of the church. If the church were going through half of the tribulation or all of the tribulation period, you'd think there'd be at least one reference. There's not one mention. God gave not one mention. He didn't offer any advice. He didn't offer any counsel. He didn't offer any preparation. He didn't offer any strategy. Complete silence. Well, the only biblical answer for that is the church is taken.
Godly pastor was doing a good job, but two men in the church didn't like him. They came to him and they said, Pastor, we think you should be the pastor no longer in this church. And we're going to ask you to step aside and resign. He said, well, gentlemen, thank you for coming to me. He said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will take it to the Lord and pray over it, and I'll get back with you. They said, all right, we'll meet next week. Next week came, and they met, and the men said, well, what did God say to you? Pastor said, God said he'd never heard of you two guys. Now, what I'm trying to say is this: there are always people who will be used of the devil to defame the good.